Get out of my way, you useless server, Reginald Hargrove snarled, his face twisted in contempt as he shoved past Aaliyah Thompson, spilling her tray of drinks across the diner floor. The crash echoed like a slap, drawing eyes from every corner. Hargrove, the Wall Street tycoon in his tailored suit, loomed over the elderly French tourist who just stumbled in, lost and babbling in broken English. "What the hell are you saying, old woman? Speak American or get lost." He mocked her with a grotesque imitation of her accent, his voice booming to impress his young date giggling beside him. Aaliyah's fists clenched at her sides, her nails digging into her palms until they stung. She'd been enduring his barbs all shift. Demands for refills barked like orders to a dog, complaints laced with slurs under his breath. Now, seeing the tourist's eyes well with fear, something snapped inside her. She stepped forward, her voice steady despite the rage boiling in her chest. "Sir, she's lost. Let me help." But Hargrove wheeled on her, his eyes narrowing to slits. "Help? You? A black girl like you thinks she can play hero? Stay in your lane, sweetheart. You're here to serve, not speak." The diner fell silent, forks frozen midair. Aaliyah ignored the stares, kneeling to the tourist's level. In flawless French, she soothed, "Madam, where are you going? I can help you." The woman's face lit with relief, grasping Aaliyah's hand. But Hargrove exploded again, grabbing the manager's arm as he passed. "Fire this insolent bitch. She's disrupting my meal with her foreign nonsense. Do it now, or I'll make sure this dump shuts down." The manager, sweating under Hargrove's glare, nodded weakly. "Aaliyah, you're done. Clock out." Hargrove smirked, tossing a crumpled dollar onto the wet floor. "There's your tip. Now scram before I call the cops on you for trespassing." Aaliyah's jaw locked tight, her heart pounding like a drum in her ears. She straightened her apron with deliberate calm, refusing to let him see her break. The injustice burned. Years of buried talent. Her Columbia dreams crushed by medical debts from her mother's death. Now reduced to this humiliation. Hargrove's date averted her eyes, but he laughed, turning back to his steak as if she'd vanished. The chain reaction ignited. Whispers rippled through the crowd, some nodding in agreement, others shifting uncomfortably. Aaliyah gathered her things, the weight of every eye pressing down, but she held her head high, the fire in her gut refusing to dim. Aaliyah's teeth ground together, the metallic taste of blood sharp on her tongue from biting back fury. She snatched her purse from behind the counter, her movements precise, refusing to fumble under Hargrove's smug stare. The manager muttered apologies, but she cut him off with a raised hand. "Save it. I've heard enough excuses today." Her voice sliced through the tension, calm but edged like a blade. Hargrove leaned back in his booth, crossing his arms with a chuckle. "Good riddance. Places like this don't need attitude from the help." His date shifted uneasily, but he ignored her, waving for another server, as if the scene was already forgotten. She straightened, locking eyes with Hargrove one last time. The diner watched, breath held, waiting for her to crack. Instead, she smiled, a slow, deliberate curve that didn't reach her eyes but carried the weight of unspoken storms. "One day, sir, kindness will expose the truly small men among us." The words hung in the air like a curse, her tone low and prophetic, echoing off the greasy walls. Hargrove's smirk faltered for a split second, his fork pausing mid-stab at his steak. Whispers erupted again, some customers nodding in silent agreement, others averting their gaze in shame. Aaliyah turned on her heel, pushing through the swinging door into the back alley, the bell jingling mockingly behind her. Outside, the cool New York air hit her face like a slap, but she didn't flinch. Her hands trembled as she lit a cigarette, inhaling deeply to steady the rage churning in her gut. 4 years of this, scraping by after her mother's death, Columbia's halls a distant memory, her French fluency buried under endless shifts. Hargrove's words replayed, each one a fresh wound, but she crushed the butt under her shoe, refusing to let it break her. She walked toward the subway, head high, the fire in her chest not dimming but fueling her steps. Unseen from the shadows inside the diner, Marcus Everett watched her go, his coffee cup gripped tighter, a flicker of regret igniting in his chest. Marcus Everett's knuckles whitened around his coffee mug, the ceramic creaking under his grip as Aaliyah vanished into the alley. He slammed the mug down, splashing black liquid across the table, ignoring the stares. "What the hell just happened?" he barked at the manager, who flinched and wiped his brow. "That girl, she spoke French like a native. Who is she?" The manager shrugged, fumbling through his clipboard. "Aaliyah Thompson. Been here 2 years. Solid worker, but life's rough on her. Lost her mom to cancer, buried in bills. She was at Columbia, top of her class in languages, but dropped out to pay debts." Marcus's eyes narrowed, his mind racing. Columbia, French fluency. He'd sat there silent, watching Hargrove's tirade unfold like a bad play, and done nothing. He shoved back his chair, the legs scraping harshly against the linoleum. Hargrove caught his eye from across the room, smirking as if expecting applause. "About time they cleaned house, eh?" Hargrove called out, but Marcus ignored him, storming to the counter. His pulse hammered. Regret clawed at his throat like bile. He'd built an empire on spotting talent, yet here he was, letting a gem get crushed underfoot. The manager handed over a crumpled resume from the back office. Marcus scanned it. Dean's list at Columbia, internships in Paris, essays on cultural diplomacy. Her photo stared back, fierce eyes, the same ones that had just delivered that prophetic line. But what caught him was the necklace in the photo, a silver locket etched with a faint crest, identical to one his grandmother had worn, lost in family lore from her French roots. His breath hitched, fingers tracing the image. This wasn't a coincidence. He pocketed the resume, tossing a $100 bill on the counter. "Tell her I'm sorry I didn't speak up." The manager nodded, but Marcus was already out the door, the bell clanging behind him. Outside, the city buzzed, horns blaring, pedestrians shoving, but his focus sharpened like a knife. Regret twisted into resolve. He pulled out his phone, dialing his assistant. "Run a full background on Aaliyah Thompson. Address, history, everything, and prep the jet." He hung up, staring at the alley where she'd disappeared. That necklace, it nagged at him, a loose thread from his own past. He couldn't let this slide. Not when talent like hers rotted in a place like this. As he strode to his car, the weight of inaction pressed harder, fueling a fire that demanded action. "Find her now, or heads will roll." Marcus Everett thundered into his phone, his voice cracking like a whip as he paced his penthouse office, the city lights blurring below. His assistant stammered on the line, but Marcus cut him off. "No excuses. Background, address, everything. She's not slipping away." He slammed the phone down, his fist pounding the desk, sending papers flying. Regret gnawed at his insides like acid. How had he sat there silent while Hargrove crushed her? That prophetic glare in her eyes haunted him, her words echoing, small men exposed. He grabbed his coat, storming out, the elevator doors hissing shut behind him. In the car, his driver accelerated through traffic, horns blaring as Marcus barked orders. "Queens, fast!" His mind raced, the resume burned in his pocket, her Columbia accolades mocking his inaction. He dialed a private investigator, voice low and lethal. "Aaliyah Thompson, dig deep. Family, debts, that necklace. I want it all by dawn." The PI tried to question, but Marcus snapped. "Do it!" Hanging up, he stared at his reflection in the window, jaw clenched, veins bulging in his neck. The car screeched to a halt outside her rundown apartment building, graffiti scarring the walls. He bolted up the stairs, pounding on her door. No answer. "Damn it," he growled, kicking the frame. A neighbor peeked out, eyes wide. "She's at the community center teaching kids. Leave her be." Marcus's eyes flashed. Teaching? Even now? He charged back down, directing the driver to the center. Inside, he shoved through the door, spotting her amid a circle of children, her voice lilting in French as she corrected a boy's pronunciation. She froze, spotting him. "You! What the hell?" Aaliyah demanded, stepping forward, arms crossed like a shield. Marcus raised his hands. "I saw what happened. I should have stopped it." She laughed bitterly, cutting him off. "Too late for apologies, stranger." But he pressed, pulling out the resume. "Columbia, Paris internships. You're wasting away in that diner." Her eyes narrowed, fist balling. And you're what? My savior? Get out! He didn't budge, his pulse thundering. Not until you hear me out. The kids scattered as tension crackled. Marcus thrust a black envelope forward. Private jet to Paris. Opportunity to use your talents. Bridge a deal for my company. No strings. Aaliyah snatched it, ripping it open, her breath catching at the ticket. Why me? Because you feel guilty? He nodded sharply. Guilty as hell. And because you're brilliant. She hurled it back. I don't need pity. He caught it midair, shoving it into her hand again. It's not pity, it's redemption. For both of us. Her fingers trembled on the paper, doubt warring with fire in her eyes. He turned to leave but paused. Car picks you up at dawn. Don't make me regret this more. As he exited, his phone buzzed. The PI's report, her mother's death tied to insurance denials from his own company's past policies. His gut twisted harder, the hunt far from over. He dove deeper that night, poring over files in his office, coffee burning his throat. The necklace, his grandmother's crest matched hers exactly, a family heirloom sold off decades ago during hard times. How? He muttered, dialing the PI again. Trace it, now. Reports flooded in. Aaliyah's mother had worked for his father's firm, denied claims amid racial biases. Shame flooded him, fists slamming the desk again. He crafted the note. Talent buried is a crime. Paris awaits. This fixes nothing yet. Slipping it into another envelope, he sent a courier to her door. Pacing resumed, regret fueling fury at his own blindness. Dawn broke as he waited for confirmation. She'd boarded. His jet roared to life, carrying her across the ocean, but the real journey clawed at him, uncovering the link that bound them. Back off, creep. I'm not your charity case. Aaliyah snarled at the envelope clutched in her fist, her voice echoing off the peeling walls of her cramped Queens apartment as she slammed the door shut behind the courier. The black paper burned her palm like a brand, the jet ticket inside mocking her with its promise of escape. She hurled it onto the cluttered table, where it landed amid stacks of unpaid bills, hospital remnants from her mother's final days, each one a stab of memory. Her chest heaved, her breath ragged, fists pounding the counter until her knuckles throbbed. Who does he think he is? Some white knight swooping in? Her roommate, Jamal, poked his head from the kitchen, brows furrowed. That's the same guy from the diner? Billionaire type? Aaliyah nodded sharply, collapsing onto the worn couch, her body aching from the day's fallout. She grabbed her phone, fingers flying across the screen to text her sister. Fired today. Some rich fools playing games. The reply buzzed instantly. Come home. We got you. But Aaliyah shook her head, jaw set. Home meant surrender, and she refused. Instead, she rose, shrugging on her jacket, the fire in her gut propelling her out the door. The subway rattled her to the community center, where kids waited in the dim basement room, their faces lighting up as she entered. Miss Aaliyah, you're late, a boy shouted, but she forced a grin, masking the storm inside. Blame the trains, kid. Now repeat after me. Bonjour, comment ça va? Her voice steadied, the French flowing like a lifeline, pulling her from the edge. The session ignited. Kids stumbled over phrases, but she corrected with sharp precision, her hands gesturing wildly. No, tighter on the R, like you're growling at injustice. Laughter erupted, but her mind flashed to Hargrove's sneer, the manager's cowardice. She pushed it down, focusing on little Maya, a girl with braids and fierce eyes. You got it. Now use it. Tell me your dream. Maya beamed. Paris, like you. Aaliyah's throat tightened, the necklace around her neck, an heirloom from her mother, feeling heavier. Dream big, then fight for it. After class, she lingered, helping a teen with homework, her patience a shield against the day's wounds. Back home, exhaustion hit like a freight train. She brewed coffee, strong and black, sipping it while staring at the envelope. Jamal hovered. You gonna take it? Paris, your old stomping ground. She scoffed, but her fingers traced the ticket. It's a trap. Rich men don't give without taking. Yet doubt crept in, her Columbia transcripts gathering dust, her fluency rusting in diners. She paced, nails biting into her palms again. I built this life from scraps. Won't let guilt money define me. But the note's words seared. Redemption. She collapsed into bed, the locket clutched tight, dreams turbulent with French streets and buried secrets. Morning came with a knock. The car waited. Aaliyah's eyes snapped open, resolve hardening. She packed swiftly, slinging her bag over her shoulder. Tell the center I'll be back, she told Jamal, hugging him fiercely. At the airport, she boarded the jet, heart slamming against her ribs. The engines roared, lifting her skyward, but her grip on the armrest whitened. Paris loomed, unknown dangers ahead, yet her spirit unbroken, ready to seize whatever came. As the clouds swallowed New York, the locket warmed against her skin, whispering of ties yet to unravel. Touch me again, and I'll break your hand, Aaliyah hissed, yanking her arm from Marcus's grip as the jet door sealed behind her. The Parisian air thick with tension in his sprawling mansion foyer. Her eyes blazed, fists clenched at her sides, the locket swinging like a pendulum against her chest. Marcus stepped back, palms up, but his voice cut sharply. You came. That's a start. She advanced, finger jabbing his chest. Only because your guilt money bought this ticket. Now spill. What do you want? He met her glare, jaw tightening. Your skills. My company is acquiring a French luxury firm. Negotiators failed. Too American, too cold. You bridge cultures. Help seal the deal. Aaliyah laughed, harsh and biting. Me? The fired waitress? You're delusional. He didn't flinch, gesturing to the grand hall where crystal chandeliers cast harsh shadows. Not delusional. Desperate. Saw you handle that tourist, shut down Hargrove without crumbling. That's rare. She crossed her arms, nails digging into her biceps. Rare? Or convenient for your white savior complex? Marcus's face flushed, veins pulsing in his neck. Call it what you want. The job pays. Clear your debts. Finish Columbia remotely. Paris-based, see? Her breath caught, but she shoved the temptation down. And if I refuse, send me back economy? He nodded curtly. Your choice. But waste this, and you're the fool. The standoff crackled. She paced, heels clicking on marble, mind whirling with flashes of her mother's hospital bed, bills choking her dreams. Fine, I help, but conditions. Marcus raised an eyebrow. Name them. She stopped, locking eyes. 1. Support my community, fund language programs for Black kids in Queens. 2. No micromanaging. I lead the cultural pitch. 3. The truth about why me. No bullshit. He hesitated, then nodded. Deal. The fun starts tomorrow. You lead. And the truth? I regret not stopping Hargrove. Your talent hit too close. Reminds me of my own buried past. Aaliyah's lip curled. Save the sob story. Show me the files. He led her to his study, pulling dossiers from a locked drawer, spreading them on the oak desk. As she rifled through, her fingers brushed an old envelope tucked in the back. Yellowed paper, sealed with wax, bearing the same crest as her locket. What's this? She demanded, snatching it. Marcus froze, eyes widening. Family archive. Don't... But she tore it open, a faded letter spilling out in elegant script. Her pulse hammered as she scanned. Dated 1985 from her mother to his father, detailing denied insurance claims, racial bias in the denial, a plea for justice ignored. This is about Mom. Aaliyah's voice cracked, knuckles whitening on the paper. Your company killed her, refused coverage because she was Black. Marcus grabbed the desk edge, face draining of color. I didn't know. Father hid it. She thrust the letter at him. Liar! This links us. Your family's dirt buried mine. Rage surged, her fist slamming the desk. You dragged me here for this? He shook his head fiercely. Coincidence. But now, we uncover it all. Aaliyah's breath raged, but resolve hardened. Then we do. But if you're lying, I end you. The letter trembled in her hand, secrets uncoiling like venom, pulling them into a deeper abyss. As shadows lengthened in the room, the weight of buried truths pressed down, demanding exposure. Stay in your place, girl. You're meddling in family business, Victor Everett barked, his face contorted in fury as he burst into Marcus's study, slamming the door so hard the hinges groaned. Aaliyah spun from the desk, the damning letter still gripped in her fist, her knuckles bone white. Family business? This is murder by neglect, she shot back, voice like a whip crack, thrusting the paper forward. Victor snatched it, eyes scanning the faded ink, his lip curling in disgust. Ancient history. Your kind always digs up graves for handouts. Marcus lunged between them, grabbing Victor's arm. Back off, brother. She's right. This ties to us. Victor yanked free, shoving Marcus against the bookshelf, volumes tumbling to the floor. Aaliyah's pulse thundered in her ears, fists balling as Victor towered over her, breath hot and reeking of scotch. You think a waitress can threaten the Everett Empire? I run operations. I'll bury this deeper than your mother's coffin. She didn't flinch, stepping closer, nails digging into her palms until blood welled. Try it. I'll expose every racist denial your company stamped. Victor laughed, a guttural bark, crumpling the letter and hurling it at her feet. Expose? With what? Your sob story? Marcus, send this trash back to the ghetto. Marcus's face reddened, veins bulging. She's staying. We're fixing this. Victor cut him off, finger jabbing Marcus's chest. Fixing? You're weak, always were. Father covered these messes to build what we have. You invite her in? She's poison. The room pulsed with rage. Aaliyah scooped the letter, smoothing it with trembling hands, her mind flashing to hospital corridors, her mother's labored breaths denied by corporate greed. Poison? Your father's policies killed her. Racial profiling and claims. Victor wheeled on her, grabbing her wrist. Shut your mouth. Pain shot up her arm, but she twisted free, knee slamming into his thigh. He staggered, howling, clutching his leg. You bitch! Marcus shoved him back. Enough! She's part of the deal now. Victor straightened, eyes slits of hatred. The Lefferve acquisition? You let her touch that? I'll sabotage it. Leak to the board you're consorting with liabilities. Aaliyah's jaw locked, heart slamming. Liability? I'm the bridge you need. But now I see. You're the rot inside. Victor paced, fists clenched, sweat beading on his brow. Bridge? You're a crack waiting to collapse us. I handled those old claims. Necessary cuts. Survival of the fittest. Marcus grabbed his collar. You knew? About her mother? Victor smirked, prying free. Knew, approved. Black applicants drained resources. Stats proved it. Aaliyah's vision blurred with fury, lunging forward, but Marcus held her back. Proof? Show me the files. Victor laughed again. Files? Burned years ago. But cross me and your little programs in Queens vanish. I'll pull strings, bankrupt them. She spat at his feet. Threaten kids? You're scum. He advanced, voice low and venomous. Scum that owns you now? Leave Paris, or I'll make your life hell. Stalkers, audits, whatever it takes. Marcus intervened, shoving Victor toward the door. Out, now! Victor paused at the threshold, glaring. This isn't over. Protect the family, Marcus, or I will. The door slammed, echoing like a gunshot. Aaliyah sank into a chair, breath ragged, the letter creased in her grip. Your brother's the devil. Marcus nodded, face ashen. Worse, he's covering something bigger. She rose, resolve steeling her spine. Then we dig. Start with his office. Tonight. Marcus hesitated, then grabbed the keys. Agreed. But watch your back. He plays dirty. As they slipped into the hall, shadows clinging like threats, Victor's parting glare burned in her mind, a promise of war unleashed. Unlock it now or we're exposed, Aaliyah snarled, her fingers flying across Victor's office keyboard, the screen's glow casting harsh shadows on her clenched jaw. Marcus hovered behind her, breath hot on her neck, his hand slamming the desk lamp switch to dim the light. Password, try Everett Empire 88. She punched it in, the system beeping acceptance, files flooding the monitor. Got it, your brother's sloppy. Marcus grunted, pulling drawers open with a screech, papers spilling like confessions. Sloppy? Calculated. He wants us chasing ghosts. Aaliyah's eyes scanned emails, her pulse racing. Denied claims from the 80s. Names blurred but patterns clear. Black families targeted, approvals slashed. Look, your father's signature overrides. Racial codes embedded. Marcus ripped a folder from the safe, flipping pages furiously. More. Memos to bury complaints. She copied files to a drive, fingers trembling with rage. Memories assaulting her. Her mother's frail hand clutching denial letters. The same corporate seal. This isn't just Mom. Hundreds hit. Marcus nodded sharply, shoving documents into his bag. We need witnesses. Start with old employees. Alarms blared suddenly. Victor's security trigger. Shit! Move! Aaliyah yanked the drive, bolting for the window as guards pounded the door. Marcus smashed the glass with his elbow, blood streaking his sleeve. Jump! They leapt to the fire escape, feet slamming metal rungs, hearts pounding in unison. Sirens wailed below. They dashed into alleys, breathless, dodging patrols. Back at the mansion, Aaliyah paced the study, drive plugged in, screens multiplying data. Cross-reference names, your PI, call him. Marcus dialed, voice clipped. Old staff from 85, track them, fast. The PI fired back leads. A retired clerk in New York, a whistleblower in hiding. Aaliyah's fist clenched. Fly us there, now! The jet roared again, cutting through night skies, tension thick as they poured over printouts. Victor's email trail, meetings with board members, payoffs. Marcus's face hardened, knuckles cracking. He silenced them, but not all. Landing in JFK, they raced to a dingy Brooklyn apartment, knocking furiously. An elderly woman cracked the door, chain taut. Who? Aaliyah shoved the letter forward. Your old job. Everett Insurance. Denials. My mom died because of it. The woman unlatched, eyes widening. Come in, quick. Inside, the clerk, Mrs. Hayes, poured tea with shaking hands, her voice a whisper. I filed them. Orders from Victor. Flag minorities, deny high risk. Stats faked. Aaliyah leaned in, nails gouging the table. Proof? Hayes pulled a hidden box, tapes and ledgers spilling. Recorded calls. He threatened me, fired if I talked. Marcus grabbed a tape, playing it. Victor's voice snarled. Bury the black claims. Company first. Aaliyah's breath hitched, tears stinging but unshed. Bastard. Hayes nodded. More out there. A doctor who signed off. In Paris now. They thanked her, bolting with the evidence. Sirens distant but closing. Paris streets blurred as they hunted the doctor. Aaliyah's phone buzzing. Jamal's text. Center's funding cut. Threats. She crushed the phone in her grip. Victor's hitting home. Marcus slammed the car door. We end this. At the doctor's clinic, they barged in. Aaliyah flashing the ledger. You approved denials. Why? The doctor paled, backing against the cabinets. Paid off. Victor's orders. Falsify medical risks for minorities. Marcus grabbed his collar. Testify. The doctor nodded, sweating. Files in my safe. Take them. They rifled through, uncovering spreadsheets. Thousands affected, payouts diverted to exec bonuses. Aaliyah's rage boiled over, fist punching the wall. Lives ruined for greed. Back in the safe house, they compiled emails linking Victor to board bribes, witness statements linking to his approvals. Aaliyah cross-checked on her laptop, fingers blistering from typing. Pattern, systemic. Not just insurance, bled into company acquisitions. Marcus uncovered a Paris link. The Lefferve deal was tied to laundered funds from those denials. He's using old money to buy now. Aaliyah rose, eyes fierce. Confront witnesses in New York again. Nail the chain. They flew back, interrogating a former VP in a seedy bar, his confessions pouring under pressure. Victor orchestrated, framed minorities as fraud risks. Tapes rolled, admissions stacking like dominoes. As evidence mounted, threats escalated. Anonymous calls to Aaliyah, drop it or Queens burns. She hung up, smashing the phone. He's scared. Marcus fortified security, but paranoia gripped them. Shadows in alleys, cars tailing. In a midnight raid on Victor's home office, they hacked his personal drive, uncovering encrypted folders. Photos of payoffs, altered records. Aaliyah decrypted one, gasping. Here, direct order to deny my mom's claim. His signature. Marcus's fist shattered a vase. Personal. He targeted her. The file revealed more. A network of silenced victims. Some vanished. Aaliyah's resolve steel-hardened. We have enough for court, but need the master key, his confession. They tracked a final lead, a banker in Switzerland, a video call hacked. Victor's accounts, millions siphoned from denials. The banker spilled under duress. Transfers to offshore for acquisitions. Aaliyah saved the recording, breath heaving. This buries him. But as they logged off, a virus hit. Victor's counterattack. Files corrupting. Marcus yanked the plug. Back up, now! They salvaged most, fleeing as alerts screamed breach. In hiding, Aaliyah pieced fragments. Her mind a whirlwind of connections. The whole empire is built on blood, Marcus nodded. One more piece. The core betrayal. As dawn broke, a hidden email surfaced. Victor's plot to frame their father, twisting biases into policy for power. The truth loomed, explosive and unforgiving. Admit it, you murdered her for profit, Aaliyah roared, slamming the decrypted file onto the table in their hidden Paris safe house, her voice echoing off the bare walls like a thunderclap. Marcus recoiled, his face paling as he grabbed the printout, eyes devouring the lines. Victor's signed directive from 1985, explicitly ordering priority denial for high-risk demographics. Focus on urban minorities to cut losses. Her fist pounded the wood, splintering the edge. This isn't policy, it's genocide by paperwork. Marcus's hands shook, crumpling the page. He twisted father's company into this monster. Aaliyah snatched it back, fingers stabbing the date. Twisted? He led it. Look, your father's notes in the margins. Approve Victor's efficiency plan. They both did this. The revelation hit like a gut punch. Aaliyah staggered back, breath heaving, the locket scorching her skin as if alive with her mother's ghost. Efficiency? They profiled us. Black families flagged as fraud risks without evidence. Mom's claim was denied because she fit the code. Single parent, Queen's address. Marcus dropped into a chair, head in hands, knuckles grinding against his temples. I was a kid, blind to it all. She advanced, yanking his collar. Blind or complicit? Your empire's built on those cuts. Millions funneled to expansions, like Lefebvre. He shoved her hand away, rising with fury. Not complicit. I fought for reforms. But doubt cracked his voice, fists clenching. She paced, piecing the puzzle aloud, her mind a blaze of connections. The banker confirmed. Siphoned funds from denials straight to offshore accounts. Victor's signature on transfers. Your father's too. But here's the bomb. A hidden clause in the family trust. Victor forged it to seize control if scandals surfaced. Marcus grabbed his laptop, cross-verifying. Forge? Evidence? Aaliyah thrust the drive forward. Here, timestamps doctored. He backdated approvals to pin it on father posthumously. Betrayed his own blood for power. Marcus's eyes widened, veins throbbing. The old man died suspiciously. Heart attack, they said. But Victor handled the autopsy. Aaliyah froze, breath catching. Murder? To cover the scheme? The truth unraveled faster. Emails surfaced in the corrupted files, Victor boasting to a crony. Father's soft, minorities drain us. I'll handle the purge. Aaliyah's rage ignited anew, her knee slamming the chair. Purge? Thousands dead from denied care. Cancer, accidents, all for bonuses. Marcus played a salvaged audio. Victor's voice, cold as steel. Deny the Thompsons. Too vocal. Let her rot. Aaliyah's world tilted, fists smashing the keyboard. Vocal? Mom fought the denial. Appeals, letters. He targeted her. Tears burned her eyes, but she blinked them away, jaw locking. This isn't just bias. It's personal vendetta. Your brother silenced her to protect the empire. Marcus rose, face ashen, but resolved, grabbing his phone. We confront him, now. Aaliyah blocked him, hand like iron on his arm. No, trap him. Use this at the board meeting. But the file revealed deeper. Victor's network extended to current deals. Leffer funded by laundered denial money, bribes to French officials. He's repeating it, acquiring to launder more. Marcus's fist shattered a glass, shards flying. The whole legacy is poisoned. Aaliyah gathered the fragments, her touch steady despite the storm inside. Poisoned, we'll antidote it. But first understand, he betrayed father to hoard power, framing him as the villain posthumously. Marcus nodded, eyes hardening. And us? Linked by this necklace? Your mom's from father's affair? No, stolen heirloom. Pawned during scandals. The final layer peeled, a scanned will alteration, Victor's forgery evident in mismatched ink. He stole the trust, disinherited you subtly. Aaliyah's breath raged. All for control. Mom's death? Collateral in his war. Marcus crushed the printout. War he started ends with us. The revelation stacked, a tower of betrayal crumbling inward, exposing the core. Victor's orchestrated empire on graves, family shattered for greed. Aaliyah pocketed the drive, resolved like steel. We have it all. Time to strike. As they slipped into the night, Victor's shadow loomed larger, his threats closing in like jaws ready to snap. Die, you meddling whore, Victor snarled, lunging from the shadows of the Paris warehouse, his knife flashing under the harsh fluorescent buzz as it slashed toward Aaliyah's throat. She dodged, her body twisting like a coil, elbow smashing into his wrist with a crack that echoed through the empty crates. Pain exploded in her arm, but she ignored it, knee driving into his gut. He doubled over, gasping, spit flying from his lips. You think you can ruin me? A black nobody from the streets? Aaliyah's fists clenched, nails drawing blood from her palms as she circled him, breath ragged. Nobody! I have your files. Your murders by denial. Victor straightened, eyes wild, charging again, shoulder ramming her against a metal shelf. Boxes tumbled, crashing around them like thunder. She headbutted him, stars bursting in her vision, blood trickling from her forehead. Marcus knows everything. Your forgeries, the purges. Victor laughed maniacally, wiping blood from his lip and grabbing a crowbar from the floor. Marcus, weak fool. I hired thugs to tail you. End this tonight. He swung the bar, whistling through the air. Aaliyah rolled aside, the metal clanging sparks off concrete. Her heart slammed against her ribs, locket bouncing like a taunt from the grave. Thugs! Like the ones torching my center in Queens? She countered, grabbing a loose pipe, swinging it low to sweep his legs. He jumped, but stumbled, the crowbar glancing her shoulder. Agony flared, but she pressed, pipe cracking his knee. He howled, dropping to one knee. Shut up, Victor bellowed, lunging upward, knife reclaiming his hand. Your mom begged, pathetic. I stamped denial myself, enjoyed it. Aaliyah's rage ignited white-hot, pipe smashing his forearm with a sickening snap. He screamed, knife clattering away. Begged. She fought. You coward! She kicked the blade into darkness, but he tackled her, hands clawing her throat. Fingers squeezed, air vanishing, her vision spotting black. She clawed his face, nails raking skin, drawing blood trails. Get off! Gasping, she kneed his groin. He loosened, rolling off with a grunt. Coughing, she scrambled for the pipe, but he grabbed her ankle, yanking her back. And now! His free hand fumbled for a gun in his coat. Panic surged. Aaliyah twisted, boot stomping his hand. Bones crunched, he yelped, gun skittering across the floor. You framed your father, poisoned him? She demanded, rising, pipe raised. Victor spat blood, crawling backward. Smart bitch. Arsenic in his scotch. Slow, untraceable. Empire mine. Confession spilled like venom. Aaliyah's stomach churned, but she advanced. For power? Lives destroyed. He sneered, lunging for the gun. She swung the pipe, connecting with his shoulder. He collapsed but fired wildly. A bullet grazed her thigh, fire searing flesh. She dropped, clutching the wound, blood soaking her pants. Marcus, call him! But Victor rose, limping, gun steady. Too late. He arrives, walks into a trap. Doors burst open. Marcus charged in, eyes locking on the scene. Victor, stop! Victor wheeled, firing. Marcus dove behind crates, wood splintering. "Brother, join the grave!" Aaliyah crawled, ignoring the blaze in her leg, and grabbed the fallen knife. "Marcus, files secure," he shouted back, dodging shots. "Yes, board alerted," Victor roared, turning the gun on her. "Die first." She hurled the knife. It embedded in his thigh. He staggered, gun dropping. Marcus tackled him, fists flying. Punch to jaw, knee to ribs. "You killed father!" Victor blocked, countering with an elbow to Marcus's nose, blood spraying. "For us! Weakness kills empires." Aaliyah rose, limping, pipe in hand. "No! For you!" She swung, cracking Victor's back. He crumpled. Marcus pinned him, wrenching his arms behind. "It's over!" Victor spat. "Never! Thugs incoming! Finish you!" Sirens wailed distance. Aaliyah bound his hands with wire from crates, thigh throbbing but ignored. "Thugs? Police en route. Your leaks." Victor thrashed but weakened. "You win nothing, empire crumbles." She knelt, face inches from his. "Crumble? We rebuild, without your poison." Marcus dialed emergency, but shadows shifted. Hired goons bursting in, guns raised. "Boss!" Aaliyah's heart seized. She grabbed the gun, firing warning shots. "Back off!" Chaos erupted, bullets flying as they dove for cover. Victor's laughter mingling with the din. "Freeze or I blow your heads off," Aaliyah barked, gun steady in her blood-slicked hand. Thigh wound pulsing fire as she aimed at the incoming thugs bursting through the warehouse doors. Bullets zipped past, splintering crates. She fired back, clipping one's shoulder, his scream piercing the chaos. Marcus rolled from cover, snatching Victor's drop crowbar, swinging it wide to crack another's knee. "Aaliyah, cover me!" He charged low, dodging shots, tackling a goon to the ground, fists pummeling face until blood sprayed. The thug bucked, knife flashing. Marcus twisted it free, stabbing the man's hand into the concrete. "Where's the server? Victor's digital vault." The goon gasped, spitting teeth. "Office, back room. Code 1985. Aaliyah's leg buckled, but she limped forward, gun barking to suppress fire, forcing thugs behind barrels. "Marcus, drag Victor. We need his biometrics." He hauled his brother by the collar, Victor groaning, thigh knife wound gushing. "You won't win," Victor rasped, but Marcus slammed his head against a crate. "Shut it!" Sirens wailed closer. Thugs reloaded, popping shots that grazed Aaliyah's arm, fresh agony searing. She bit her tongue bloody, refusing to collapse, returning fire to pin them. "Back room, now!" They burst through a side door, Marcus kicking it shut, barricading with a forklift. Gunfire hammered the metal. Aaliyah slumped against the wall, breath heaving, tearing her shirt to bind wounds. "Server, there." She pointed, limping to the humming rack, Victor's laptop wired in. Marcus shoved Victor's face to the scanner. It beeped green, unlocking. "Download everything. Denials, forgeries, murders." Aaliyah's fingers flew across keys. Drive inserted, files cascading, encrypted ledgers of payoffs, autopsy fakes proving arsenic in their father's blood, video confessions from bribed doctors. Jackpot, Victor's full confession tape. Father's weakness ends tonight. Poison for progress. Her eyes blazed, nails gouging the keyboard. And Mom's file, personal notes, silence the complainer, deny and destroy. Rage choked her. She copied faster, progress bar ticking amid pounding on the door. Marcus braced it, shoulder straining. "Hurry! They're breaching!" Bullets punched holes. He fired through, hitting one thug's leg. She yanked the drive, pocketing it, but alarms triggered, self-destruct sequence flashing. "Wipe incoming!" Aaliyah smashed the hard drive with the crowbar, sparks flying, then grabbed backup tapes from a safe. Got redundance, emails to board. Frame Marcus if exposed. Plant evidence. Marcus's face twisted in betrayal, fist crushing a monitor. "He planned to pin it on me?" She nodded sharply, stuffing tapes into her bag. "All here, undeniable. Empire's dirty core." The door buckled. Thugs rammed through. Aaliyah fired, dropping the lead one. Marcus hurled the crowbar, embedding it in another's chest. "Exit. Roof." They bolted upstairs, Aaliyah's leg dragging, pain like lightning with each step. But she pushed, gun covering retreat. On the roof, wind whipped. Police choppers thrummed overhead. "Jump to the adjacent building," Marcus shouted, leaping first, rolling on gravel. Aaliyah hesitated, wound screaming, but vaulted, landing hard, bone-jarring. Thugs pursued, shots cracking. She returned fire, clipping the last. Marcus pulled her up. They dashed to a fire escape, sliding down poles, hitting the alley ground. "Car, go!" He hotwired a vehicle, tires screeching as they peeled out, sirens converging. Aaliyah clutched the bag, breaths labored. Evidence secure, confessions, proofs, all. Marcus gripped the wheel, knuckles white. Enough to bury him forever. But Victor's final rasp echoed in her mind. Empires fall hard. Police lights flashed in mirrors. She dialed anonymously. Tip, warehouse thugs down, files incoming. As they vanished into traffic, the drive burned in her pocket, the final nail ready for the coffin. "Traitor, I'll gut you both," Victor howled from the boardroom floor, bloodied and bound, his voice a ragged snarl as Aaliyah thrust the drive into the projector, files exploding onto the massive screen behind the polished mahogany table. Board members gasped, chairs scraping back, faces draining of color as spreadsheets unrolled. Denied claims stamped with racial codes, forged autopsies, laundered million fufuneled to Leffer bribes. Aaliyah's thigh throbbed like fire, but she stood tall, voice slicing the air. "See this? Victor's handiwork, murdered our father with arsenic, buried minorities in debt graves for profit." Victor thrashed against zip ties, spit flying. "Lies, she's a plant, black extortionist." Marcus stepped forward, fist slamming the table, cracking the wood. "Proof here, his confessions, tapes." He hit play. Victor's recorded voice boomed. "Deny the Thompsons, let her rot." Gasps rippled. A board elder clutched his chest. "Impossible!" Aaliyah cut in, finger stabbing the screen. "Possible? He targeted my mom. Racial purge for bonuses. Forged the trust to steal control." Victor surged up, head-butting a guard, but Marcus tackled him down, knee grinding his back. "Admit it!" Board whispers erupted into shouts. One exec bolted for the door, but security barred it. "Lockdown, FBI incoming." Aaliyah advanced on Victor, drive raised like a weapon. "Your empire, built on blood, thousands dead from denials." Victor laughed maniacally, blood bubbling from his lip. "Blood, strength, weak die. Father agreed." She shoved the autopsy report forward. "Agreed. You poisoned him. Slow kill for inheritance." Board chaos peaked. Phones yanked. Calls to lawyers dialed frantically. Marcus wrenched Victor's head up. "The forgeries. Your signatures on everything." Victor spat. "Prove it." Aaliyah cued the video. Banker testifying via link. Victor ordered the laundering, offshore to acquisitions. The room froze. The elder board chair rose, voice trembling. "Arrest him!" Victor broke free momentarily, grabbing a pen like a shank, lunging at Aaliyah. "Die first!" She sidestepped, elbow cracking his jaw. He crumpled. Security piled on, cuffing him tighter. "This ends you all," Victor rasped. Aaliyah knelt, face inches from his. "Ends you. Justice for Mom. For everyone." FBI agents burst in, badges flashing, hauling Victor away as he screamed obscenities. Board members slumped, one whispering, "Resignations incoming." Marcus locked eyes with Aaliyah, nodding sharply. "We did it." She pocketed the drive, wounds aching, but spirit unbroken. As Victor vanished down the hall, his empire's facade shattered. The path to rebuilding gleamed ahead. "Rot in hell, you monster!" Aaliyah spat, her voice a venomous whip as Victor was dragged from the boardroom in chains, his wrists raw from cuffs biting deep. FBI agents shoving him forward like discarded trash. His eyes locked on hers one last time, wild with defeated rage, mouth twisting into a snarl. "This isn't justice. It's revenge." She stepped closer, finger jabbing his chest hard enough to bruise. "Revenge? For Mom's grave? Damn right." The agents yanked him away, his feet scraping the floor. Protest cut short by a gag order slapped on by the judge's remote ruling. Board members watched in stunned silence, their empires crumbling under the weight of exposed files. Spreadsheets of death, forgeries like nooses around their necks. Aaliyah's thigh wound pulsed, but she ignored it, turning to the chair. Convict him. Life without parole. The elder nodded, voice cracking. Evidence airtight, murder, fraud, racketeering. Court feeds streamed in. Prosecutors pounced, playing Victor's tapes. His cold admissions of arsenic dosing, racial purges for profit. Witnesses flooded the stand. Mrs. Hayes, trembling but fierce, detailing denials. The doctor sweating, confessing bribes. Victor's lawyers scrambled, objections fired like desperate bullets, but the judge hammered them down. Overruled. Play the next. Aaliyah testified, voice steel, locket clutched tight. He targeted us, black lives as line items. Jury nodded, faces hardening. Knots untied swiftly. Leffer deal frozen, funds traced back. Millions clawed from offshore accounts, redistributed to victims' families. Aaliyah's debts vanished in court-ordered restitution. The center of Queens was rebuilt overnight with seized assets. Victor thrashed in holding, but chains held. Appeals denied, his network collapsing. Cronies flipping, board execs indicted, one by one handcuffed mid-meeting. Marcus stood beside her, fist clenched. Father's name cleared. Poison proven. She nodded sharply. And yours? Untainted now. He gripped her shoulder, brief but firm. Thanks to you. As Victor faced sentencing, cameras flashed. He broke, sobbing pleas. Mercy! The judge's gavel cracked. Guilty, all counts, life. Aaliyah's chest loosened, breath steady for the first time. Wounds scarring over. Loose ends severed, insurance reforms mandated, class actions paid out, ghosts laid to rest. But as agents hauled Victor to the van, his final glare promised echoes, the empire's remnants lurking. Aaliyah turned away, resolve unbroken, the fight's embers still glowing. Sign it now, or watch your legacy burn, Aaliyah demanded, shoving the charter documents across the rebuilt boardroom table, her voice a blade cutting through the hushed murmurs of remaining execs, her thigh scar itching like a reminder of battles won. Marcus gripped the pen, knuckles white, but nodded sharply, scrawling his name with deliberate force. Done. The Everett Foundation, a $1 billion endowment for minority health and education. Board remnants shifted uncomfortably, but signed one by one, their empires stripped, now funneled into restitution. Aaliyah's eyes blazed, locket warm against her chest. Not enough. Triple it. Seized assets from Victor's accounts. Marcus met her glare, jaw set. Agreed. $5 billion. Clears every denial victim's debt. He rose, slamming the gavel himself, voice booming. Policies overhaul. Mandatory diversity audits. No more racial flags and claims. Execs nodded hastily, one protesting, costs? But Aaliyah cut him off, finger stabbing the air. Costs, lives lost, implement or resign. Resignations piled, new hires flooded in, black leaders from Queens, her center's alumni at the helm. Marcus turned to her, hand extended. Co-chair it, your vision. She shook firmly, nails digging in. My terms, focus on language programs, medical grants. He nodded. All yours. And Paris branch, cultural bridges for acquisitions, no more bribes. The launch hit like a storm. Press conferences blared. Marcus at the podium, voice cracking. My family's sins, racial purges, murders for greed, we atone. Cameras flashed. Aaliyah beside him, detailing plans. Clinics in underserved neighborhoods, scholarships for Columbia dropouts like her. No more buried talents. Funds flowed, her center expanded, teaching French to thousands. Health screenings saving lives, echoing her mother's fate. Marcus toured sites, sleeves rolled, handing checks personally. This S for your mom, he told a widow, voice thick. She hugged him fiercely. Redeems nothing, but starts. Back in Queens, Aaliyah broke ground on a new facility, shovel-biting earth, her community cheering. "From diners to directors," she shouted, voice triumphant. Marcus joined, dirt on his hands. "And reforms company-wide. No acquisitions without cultural equity." Board approved swiftly, Lefebvre deal revived clean. French heritage preserved, profits shared with artisans. Aaliyah's role solidified. Director of integration, salary clearing paths for others. "Expand to Europe," she pushed. Marcus allocated millions, opening doors for Black entrepreneurs. Personal ties mended. Marcus visited her mother's grave, kneeling, whispering apologies. "I fund research, cancer cures for all." Aaliyah stood silent, then nodded. Action speaks. He established annual audits, transparency reports public, rooting out biases. Victims' families received settlements. Tears flowing in courtrooms turned celebration halls. Aaliyah mentored kids, her story fuel. Fight turned pain to power. Marcus shadowed her, learning, his guilt forging change. Global now, Africa partnerships. She approved, expanding reach. As the foundation grew, lives transformed. A boy from her class interning in Paris. A mother saved by early detection. Marcus's face softened, redemption carving lines of purpose. "We build better." Aaliyah gripped his arm. "Together." The scale ballooned. Policy influence in D.C. Lobbying for national reforms. "End systemic denial," she testified, voice unyielding. Bills passed, Victor's shadow shrinking in prison echoes. Hope ignited, a fire spreading. Atonement's blaze lighting past for the forgotten. "Stand down or face the same cell as Victor," Aaliyah commanded, her voice a thunderclap in the newly christened foundation hall, packed with community leaders, reformed execs, and wide-eyed kids from Queens, her scar-hidden thighs steady as she gripped the podium. Marcus flanked her, suit crisp but sleeves rolled, handing her the symbolic key to the expanded center, a gleaming building rising from the ashes of denial. "This key unlocks futures," she declared, holding it high, the crowd erupting in cheers, fists pumping air. A boy from her class rushed forward, hugging her fiercely. "Miss Aaliyah, Paris internship? For me?" She knelt, eyes level. "Yours. Dream big. Fight harder." He beamed, clutching the acceptance letter she'd secured, his path forged from her pain. Marcus stepped up, voice booming. "Today we form a new family, bound by justice, not blood." He unveiled the plaque. Thompson Everett Equity Center, her mother's name etched in gold beside his father's cleared legacy. Tears stung Aaliyah's eyes, but she blinked them away, jaw set. "No more hidden talents buried in diners." The audience nodded, stories spilling. A widow grasping her settlement check, whispering, "My husband's care." Finally paid. A young Black entrepreneur pitching ideas, funded on the spot. "Scale it," Aaliyah ordered. Marcus allocated millions, his redemption a living force. Global partnerships, Africa clinics, Europe scholarships. She approved with a nod, her role as co-chair cementing change. Flashbacks hit hard. Hargrove's sneer in the diner, now a distant echo as she spotted him in the crowd. Invited, reformed. He approached, head bowed, hand extended. "I was wrong. That day, your French, your strength." Aaliyah gripped his hand tight, nails pressing. "Wrong? Humiliating. But learn. Fund a wing here." He nodded hastily, signing a check on the spot. "For the kids." She pocketed it, turning away, the cycle broken. Marcus watched, pride etching his face. "You turned enemies to allies," she shrugged. "Allies build empires, fair ones." The ceremony peaked, ribbons cut, doors flung open to reveal classrooms, buzzing with French lessons, medical bays screening for cancers like her mother's. Aaliyah toured, hugging students, her family new expanding, Jamal as director, Mrs. Hayes mentoring audits. "No biases slip through," Hayes vowed, voice firm. Aaliyah's sister arrived, tears flowing. Mom would be proud. They embraced, the locket pressed between them, its crest now a symbol of unity, not loss. Marcus joined, arm around her shoulder. "Complete your degree. On us." She nodded. "And teach. Pass the torch." Subplots resolved. The French tourist from the diner video called, beaming. Your kindness sparked this? Aaliyah laughed. Kindness exposes truth. Lefebvre matriarch attended, sealing the clean acquisition, her hand in Aaliyah's. Bridge built, heritage safe, profits redirected, artisan grants, cultural preservation. Back in New York, her old manager begged forgiveness. She hired him for outreach. Redeem yourself. He nodded, transformed. Marcus pulled her aside, voice low. A family, us? She met his eyes, hand on his. Earned, not given, but yes. They stood on the balcony overlooking kids playing. Futures bright. Lesson learned, he murmured. Hidden talents shine when seen. Kindness topples tyrants. Aaliyah nodded. And justice? Not revenge, but repair. Never waste a voice. The crowd below chanted her name. She waved, spirit soaring. Years flashed. Aaliyah at Columbia graduation, cap tossed high, Marcus cheering. Her center global, saving lives, educating the masses. Victor's prison letters, please ignored. His isolation a final knot tied. Hargrove volunteered weekly, humbled. The foundation thrived, policies shifting nationwide. No more denials, biases uprooted. Aaliyah mentored Marcus's kids, adopted from Queen's programs, teaching French resilience. Your grandpa's mistakes, we fixed. They nodded, eyes wide. In a quiet moment, Aaliyah visited her mother's grave, and a locket lay on the stone. We won, Mom. Voice found. Wind stirred, peace settling. Marcus joined, silent support. Legacy lives. She rose, hand in his. Ours now. Hope eternal. The sun set on a transformed world. Talents unleashed, injustices buried. A new dawn of equity rising. Aaliyah's journey reminds us that kindness in the face of injustice can uncover hidden talents and dismantle even the deepest corruption, proving that true redemption comes from confronting our past and building a fairer future for all. What about you? Share your thoughts or a personal story of overcoming adversity in the comments below. We'd love to hear how you've turned challenges into triumphs. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next inspiring tale.